Alright, so right now I'm uploading the video I did with my GoPro in the CRX I just purchased yesterday. And I love CRXs. As you can see in the video, I mean, I just think they're such amazing cars. And I wanted to do a video that just talks about them. And I will continue to do videos about it. It's the fourth CRX I've ever owned, and it's great. But as I was coming off the highway, I was just slowing down, and as you can see in the video, I'm in the slow lane on the highway, and traffic is passing me. And you can see me in the video where I'm like, oh, there's a cop on motorcycle with a radar gun, and I didn't even see him look at me. He was actually sitting sideways on his Harley with a radar gun, and the radar gun wasn't even up, and I didn't even see him look at me. And when I exited the highway, I pretty much ended the video. So I reached over, because the GoPro was on a suction cup mount on my passenger window. So I reached over and, I cut it off, and then I kind of hit the suction cup to pull it off. But instead of pulling it off, it dropped down. So then I've got to, reach over and get it. And as I put the GoPro in my seat, I look up, and, being in a CRX with the whole back of it is glass, and I just see this Harley behind me flashing his lights, and he's right up on my ass, so I know he's on me, because the traffic had just started going from a red light, and I'm like, oh shit, so I start pulling over, and he starts getting over quicker to try and block traffic. So I'm like, okay, so I get over, and I just pull up to a stop, not realizing that the lane that I'm in is a right turn only lane. I mean, I knew that. I know that road very well, but I didn't think I couldn't stop there. So he just yells at me, go, go! And I'm like, oh shit, put it back in first gear and go right. And then I pull over, and I immediately grab my phone and start recording. And that's what you'll see here in a minute. You mind if I record this?
You can't just stop in a travel lane, man.
Where did I stop?
In the turn lane out there.
What are you talking about?
When I was trying to get you to go.
Oh, I didn't hear you. No, I didn't hear you. I was just trying to pull over because I saw you behind me.
Yeah, the reason why I stopped you is it looked like your state inspection was 330.
Oh, no. When I saw you sitting there on the highway, I was like, and then you were right behind me. You just scared the shit out of me. I was like, what am I doing?
Hey, that's understandable. You also got a brake light out.
Thank you.
All right. I'm not gonna take your information or anything because I was wrong about your state inspection.
Okay, yeah.
But just don't stop in the lane like that, all right?
Yeah,
I got cars coming up behind me.
I'm sorry. I saw you getting over to try. I thought you were trying to block traffic for me so I could get over when I saw you getting over before me.
But then you slowed down and stopped.
I'm sorry.
Okay. You have any questions for me?
No, not at all.
Man, be careful driving.
Thank you. That was interesting. I'm glad I recorded that. I wonder how much differently that would have went if I wasn't recording. Totally saw him sit there, and you'll see that in the other video. That was crazy. He really did scare the shit out of me, because he came right up on my ass out of nowhere. Lights flash. He's on a Harley. That's some funny shit. All right. So, as you can see, I told him I was recording, and you have to understand, my experiences with police in this area have been insane. I can tell you, I could tell multiple stories multiple times, but I will tell you that in this area, even for a speeding ticket, which you do get court dates for, in this area, you have to go to court. Unless you're able to call up and try and prepay it. But they assign you court dates off the bat, no matter what, for speeding. I will never again, and I learned my lesson years ago, I will never again go into court, even if it's just for speeding, and not even reckless speeding. I will never go into court without a lawyer. And I highly recommend that to everybody else in this area as well. No matter if you got to pay the lawyer $100 or $200, trust me, it's well worth it. But I have had run-ins with police in this area, and they are just dicks. That's mostly what I've run into. I've probably run into maybe 2 good cops, and I believe they were both Staties. I mean, the best story I have is I was on my motorcycle, and I must have been riding for about a good 20 miles on regular roads, not on the highway, and I get pulled over by an unmarked Camaro. Cop gets out, and he's like, "Yeah, I've been following you since whatever road it was." And it was literally like 20 miles. And I was like, "You've been following me that long?" He's like, "Yeah, man. All I got to do is follow a guy on a sport bike. And even if when he passes me or when I see him at the beginning, if I follow him long enough, he's going to speed." And I was like, "Oh, that's probably very, very valid. It's probably valid." But then he noticed that I had race takeoffs on the bike, and he's like, "Oh, you got race tires on here?" I was like, "Yeah, man. I just did the races this last weekend at VIR for Wira." He's like, "Oh, you raced Wira?" We started bullshitting for about 20 minutes or half an hour, and he just let me go. So there are definitely good cops, and if you follow my Facebook page or my other YouTube channel, you see I get pissed off at bad cops. But today, in the CRX, because I've really been trying to think about why he pulled me over, because I definitely wasn't speeding in the video. I was definitely following all the laws, and for him to move from where he was on the highway as a Statie and follow me off the highway, and he was way behind me because I didn't see him when I was coming off the highway. I didn't see him till he was right behind me on the regular road, about a good quarter mile, half mile later, and then to just walk up and say, "Oh, your inspection sticker's good." I was like, well, maybe he pulled me over because he thought I was some kid in the CRX, and I had the big old, I say big old, the GoPro is tiny, but with the suction cup mount and everything right in the middle of the passenger window. And when I passed him, it was within just a few feet because he was in the not the breakdown lane, but the side of the highway where I was exiting. So I was like, well, maybe he thought I was a kid. Maybe if I was 20 years younger, and I wasn't recording, it would have played out differently. But that's what I thought at first. But no, I think really he probably just did spot my inspection sticker, and it is a CRX, and maybe he did think I was a kid and pulled me over and saw the inspection sticker and said, "All right, no, you're good to go." So not all cops are dicks. And because people think that I think that, I figured I'd post this video to show that no, not all cops are dicks. Do I think he needed to get off the highway as a Statie when he was obviously sitting there with a radar gun to try and get people speeding, just because he thought that my inspection sticker might have been invalid? No, but that's his fucking job, and that's his choice. He can choose to pull over whoever he wants if they think they're in the wrong. And he didn't even hit me for having an exhaust leak, so maybe he didn't hear it, but it's pretty loud in that car. But maybe me recording did have something to do with it. And from now on, I also recommend to anybody else, because it's definitely what I'm going to do from now. I've been doing it for a while, is record anytime I get pulled over, anytime I have an interaction with police. And I'm just glad it turned out great, and he was not a bad cop. And so I just wanted to share that I do not think all cops are assholes. Although the majority of run-ins I've had, it's been the case. But not today. So, peace.